Prices are set to rise by at least 60 cents a litre from next month. This comes as the devastating drought that has ripped through the country's agricultural provinces and withered livestock hits milk production. Well, let's try and understand the entire milk value chain here and how consumers are likely to be hit. With me, First National Bank senior agricultural economist Paul Makube. Paul, thanks indeed for coming in.
Thank you.
So this looming shortage of milk, I mean, it's plain to see that it's directly linked to the drought. Just tell us how. Is it pastures or is it feed material?
It's a combination of both. You have a situation where the pasture conditions have been deteriorating. You have a situation where prices of grain commodities have skyrocketed, and both are used in the production of milk. Hence, the pressure on the industry. Yeah.
Now, milk and generally dairy products finds itself in almost all basic food items, particularly those used by the poor. Yeah. So this is a really, really tight concern when you look at food inflation overall of that group of people.
Yes, definitely. You see feeding it through. It is inevitable. We had a drought situation which has affected all producers, both in the beef and the dairy industry. The shortage of grain has seen maize prices increasing by almost 82% for white maize and 37% for yellow maize, which makes the inputs in the dairy sector quite expensive. Also, the quality of roughage that you get from the pastures is not of good quality. Therefore, it affects milk production. And we are entering into a low season, seasonal production, and therefore it exacerbates the situation.
I would imagine that even those areas not directly affected by the drought, where you would have grazing fields there and still lush, you still have, like you say, this problem with grain, and you still have the problem with feed that goes into these areas that are not affected. So, the question inevitably comes up, how long do you think this milk shortage or milk problem will sustain itself?
Look, there are areas that are high-producing areas and are less affected by the drought, but the other areas are badly hit. And if it doesn't rain early in the new season, August, September and October, we have a very catastrophic situation in terms of both crop and milk production in South Africa.
And let's just look at the consequences here. 60 cents is a massive hike. I mean, you look at a family buying 2 litres of milk a day, coupled with the fact that just this month, in the first week, we've seen an electricity price increase. We've seen the fuel levy come in, so the fuel price goes up. To have 60 cents a litre on milk, I mean, even for the people that can afford, it's no child's play. This is worrying.
Definitely, it is going to fit into the whole food basket. It's going to be hard for the poor families. And unfortunately, this is the situation that we find ourselves in the sense that we have a deficit in terms of production of agricultural commodities in South Africa.
Yeah. What's your take on food inflation going forward? I mean, some say as much as 12%, others say it could be 3 times as much as that as the months unfold. Where are we going with food inflation in this country?
It depends on as I said, on how the new season pans out. If it doesn't rain, we have we could have double-digit inflation on the food side, and that will actually raise inflation, the overall inflation.
Just a final word here. I mean, of course, to exacerbate things, you have interest rates coming up. Again, another pressure point for consumers.
Yes, another pressure point for consumers is going to be tough. Petrol price increases, electricity increases. Interest rate increases, the disposable income is slowly being eroded. It is going to be tough in 2016.
Yeah, I suppose it's all about prioritizing your purse. All right, thanks very much. First National Bank senior agricultural economist Paul Makube.
Thank you very much.